Thanks for finding my webpage and now this talk. I'm Australian. I've lived most of my life here, but I've also briefly lived in South Africa and Zimbabwe, and now here in Scotland for some time. My accent's a mix of all sorts, and I've had to learn to speak more slowly and clearly to be understood in world travels and also working in the travel and tourism worlds for many years. I am happier, more fulfilled in deeper one-to-one conversations than in groups and rowdy settings. I actually love it when people succeed and make it well in their lives. That actually does something for me. I feel others' pain also when things are not working for them. Everything we do, we learn from mimicry, from watching and experiencing others. In the counselling room, you will do a lot of talking. But amongst other things, I also tell anonymous true stories to help you achieve what you're wanting. You may know that, I guess not so many years ago, there was an epidemic of Romanian babies left at hospitals and on church steps, from unwed or poorer mothers, leaving their baby there for lack of support, fear, no money, or for bringing shame on the family for having a baby outside marriage. These babies were put into large orphanages, given shelter, warmth, food and clothes. What more would you need? But many of these babies died. Why? Because they were starved of that vital human need, the need for touch, intimacy, to be held by another, to be able to laugh, to make baby noises, to learn to speak, to look another in the eye, to have a consistent person believing in them. We now know, thankfully, much more about what humans really need. We need others. We learn only from others. Who are you learning from? Who is influencing you? What do you need, or who do you need in your life? A note to parents, by the way, don't be worried that your children and teens are not listening to a word you say, but be worried because they are watching everything you do and then absorbing what they see and experience from you. We are a product of our upbringing for sure, but what are we going to do with that? It's not what we have or have been given, but more what are we going to do with what we have or have been given, whether that be financial, sporting, music, academics, just our being. Many would say that contentment comes from this simplicity, that we are doing what we have. So we are doing with what we have, not how can I get more to become content. I'm not meaning do not strive for something else. Find what you are good at, what you have been given, your talent, your skill, that nerdy expertise that just makes you good at something in particular. Make it better, make it bigger, educate yourself, wonder more, inspire others with that, and you're likely to feel great. Sometimes themes of forgiveness come up in the counselling room. I think of two young guys who came to counselling for many weeks, and I never want to keep people in counselling for more than they need. One said that he could never forgive his sister for something that she said about a year ago, and this issue was causing all sorts of problems in the family. I was ready to launch slowly into the process and benefits of forgiveness in the weeks to come, if appropriate. I did not get time to start that, as 2 weeks later he came in, sat down, looked up at me in the eye, which often he wouldn't do, and said, "In a long car journey this weekend, Andrew, I said to my sister, I forgive you." He immediately felt a distinct change in his body that he noticed, and a huge pressure was released from his shoulders. He was now telling me the benefits of forgiveness. He was shocked at himself. Counselling gave him the safe space to try something different and be noticed, even when I had not even prompted him to do so. The other secondary school lad that comes to mind had been on his last legs at school for many years, but the school kept him on as they knew that school was one of the big saving graces in his chaotic life. He talked a lot in the counselling room, a lot, and realised so much in that talking in the counselling room, as he had never had the chance to talk about deeper things with anyone. Once again, I did not get a chance to talk about the benefits and reasons one might say sorry. He told me that he'd never want to teach him the way he behaves and reacts to staff members. He decided he would make amends for some of his unpleasant attitudes and behaviours. Because of the counselling room, he decided himself, without my prompting, that he was going to personally apologise to 2 teachers in the school, and actually 1 primary school teacher from his past. He did that. 2 of the staff members beginning to shed tears in the process. A powerful moment for all. He still had that rough, tough schoolyard respect of other pupils, but now, for the first time, he was gaining respect from staff members also. His year level head called him into her office, not for suspected unruly behaviour, as he was used to being accused of, but now to mentor a younger pupil. This now school mentor said, "I looked at the younger pupil and saw my previous self. Lost, broken. I then immediately recommended counselling for him too." Sometimes it is hard to say what happens in the counselling room. Sometimes that thing can't be defined. But something does happen if you let it. Be brave and have a go.